Rohan, can you just sort of take us through where you thought that game was won and lost today?
The scoreboard only, I think. I thought that was a really hard-fought game in, obviously very taxing conditions for both teams. I thought we were full of running at the end of the game, which was, testament to our performance staff and definitely the players for really buying into what we've done in the last little while to do our best to prepare for tough conditions. And to be honest, it was a little disappointing that the game stopped so many times for medical checks or whatever that didn't result in interchanges. I think we stopped the game twice for a head knock, which replaced, and a serious ankle injury, which was also replaced. But other than that, the rest of the stoppages weren't down to us.
The first half, you defended your goal line so much, so well, really. But do you think that had an impact on how the game played? Because as you said, energy didn't look to be a problem at the end.
No, they were making some good meters, and so were we in tough conditions. They scored a couple of tries on the edges, which, that can happen. But as you said, we defended brave. We've had, tons of experienced players pull out earlier in the week, and then, all the way up until just before kickoff, another one. So the young players in there, they're brave. They're brave young kids. They're tough. And there's more senior players step forward today, and that was a good hard game of footy, and I'm nothing but proud of that group in there.
It seems like you're quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Quite spirited after that. Despite the result not going your way, all in all, you're happy with what you saw.
Yeah, I need to do a better job to get our team to flow when we've got a few experienced halves not there. I need to work on that, but overall the effort, and we asked them to just keep turning up, and all the way to the end we kept turning up. We nearly saved that try right on the bell as well, so I couldn't be prouder of the efforts of our players.
You just mentioned it there. You think you had like 4 or 5 real good ball sets in the game and just couldn't quite find out. Was that like the big problem today?
Yeah, even though there was a pass in the first half that was forward when we had a bit of momentum, and then the second half we poked holes in, made a few breaks and turned the ball over. We weren't able to just build a bit of pressure, and then, as I said, there was a lot of stoppages, which it's a very difficult situation for the referee to be in such trying conditions. For him to try and speed the game up, it's not really up to him. I wondered what a lot of the stoppages were for, and then they weren't replaced on the back of it. So, I was a little disappointed that we weren't able to go end to end a bit more.
You're not the first coach to complain about this. There's a lot of coaches that are saying, there's stoppages for whatever reason. Do you think there's a little bit of play acting in the game? I don't want to try and accuse anyone of forcing you into a position like that, but it seems like everyone's kind of tiptoeing around the situation without actually saying what the issue is.
The way that we're coaching our young players is, if you can get up, you get up. And we had a couple today that couldn't because they needed to be replaced, and that was totally fine. But I think if other coaches are commenting on it, then it's obviously an issue in the game. And what we want to see is attrition, and we want to see the ball in play. It's the exciting part of the game when it's going end to end. Even if it's 1-out carries, but it's going end to end. That's what people love to see, and we certainly didn't see enough of it tonight, and it has happened in other games as well, for sure.
How close to kick-off did Liam Sutcliffe pull
out? Right on about when we gave the team sheet in, and we had to go and make a change to the team sheet, so whatever time that was.
What was it, illness? Or?
Yeah, illness. He's been battling, and he wanted to give it as long as he could to get out there, but in that heat, you weren't going to get better.
No. Max Simpson, you're always worried when they go down with no one's around them. It didn't look great. Is there any early prognosis?
He's got some kind of lateral ankle injury, which they can be nasty, or they can be not as bad as first thought. So we'll get that scanned and get him checked out. But what a tough, brave performance for that kid. He hasn't played much footy lately. He's been 18th man, and he's been in and around. There hasn't been too many reserves games and 18s games, and he's pretty much played on the back of not much prep. And to play like that I think he's 18 now. That's an incredible effort, that young kid. And Gano, another 18-year-old. Jack, I think he's still 17. Veterans like Corey Johnson at 20 or 21, and Jared O'Connor and Sam Walters, and I'm not sure if I'm missing anyone there, but for those kids to step up on short prep. Tyndall hasn't played in 10 weeks, 12 weeks. For those guys to step in at last moment as well, credit to them, and the way the leadership crew stepped forward, and that's a performance that you can only be proud of if you're a Rhinos fan.
Is there a threat that it's Achilles with Max?
No.
No, so it's not that good.
Yeah.
You mentioned the young lads. I know that we're in an industry where people want results week in, week out. It's just the nature of it. But how beneficial will a game like this be for the future of the club, having so many of those guys be put in that environment tonight?
Certainly that's where you learn about yourself. And I just said to them in there, that's tough conditions. They kept turning up, didn't take a backward step, full of running at the back end of the game. What more can you ask of kids on, somewhat limited prep, given the scheduling of 18s and reserves games as well. They're great young men first. They want to wear the badge, they want to wear the shirt and give it their best. And I'm certainly proud of those guys, but I'm proud of all of them. The way the Ash and Reese and Cam Smith and Mikolai and Richie Myler, Bentley, all those guys that have, stepped forward and added to the group this week in the absence of some experienced players. It's not a negative day for the club for sure.
The order. The Deliveroo was on its way. Bingo. Deliveroo. Food, we get it.